Servant Leadership and Management Training is a knowledge and skill training offered to the Next Generation Leadership Program, NGLP-K scholars as an additional course to their various academic trainings. In this video, Sr Alice Anzoyo, the Director at the Center for Leadership and Management, highlights the relevance of servant leadership and management training and how they collaborate with the NGLP-K to form holistic Catholic leaders for the African Church.
My name is Sr Alice Anzoyo. I belong to the congregation of the Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And I work at Tangaza University College at the Center for Leadership and Management. And at the Center for Leadership and Management, I play the role of the director. The Center for Leadership and Management is one of the institutes in Tangaza University College whose focus is leadership training for students, and we offer leadership training from diploma level to master's level. We have diploma programs in leadership and management, BA program, and a master's program in leadership and management. So as one of the core activities of the Center for Leadership and Management, we also conduct outreach programs. And among our outreach programs, I can mention the servant leadership, which we practically do it among the Catholic scholars. Servant leadership, as you can hear from the title, servant. Servant first and then leader. And I think the concept of servant leadership, if we are Christians, we can relate it with Christ, right? Christ in his preaching taught his disciples to be servants in order to lead well. But the spiritual, that is the spiritual aspect of servant leadership. We relate it to Christ as a background originator. But somebody else invented and also thought about servant leadership in the corporate world. The mind behind servant leadership is Greenleaf. And he generated that if, as leaders, we first think and identify ourselves as wanting to serve in the society, then when we come to serve, we will serve with those mindset that helps us to identify what needs to be done in the society. So servant leadership is very important because it works on 7 pillars. Putting people first is one of the 7 pillars of servant leadership. And a servant leader is a skilled communicator. That's another pillar. Another pillar of servant leadership is ethical leadership. Another pillar is collaborative leadership. A servant leader is a collaborator. Those are among, like I've mentioned, about 4, but they're about 7 pillars. And so when we are conducting this training to the scholars, the 7 pillars really become one of the key aspects around which we sort of oscillate and give the training for the Catholic scholars. In the training process, it's very interactive. The participants go through a lot of personal self-assessments, things, some reflection, self-reflection, assessment that help them to know at this point where I am sitting. Regarding these principles of servant leadership, where do I assess myself to be? So I know my strengths at this point where I'm sitting, at the point where I'm learning about these principles. I know my strength, but there are also gaps. Yeah, I identify this self-assessment helps me to identify the gaps that within myself as a person, character-wise, attitude-wise, my mindset and so forth, there are things I know I'm not up to scratch. So then what strategies do I need to put in place? 1, to maintain and grow or uphold the strengths I have identified in myself. And secondly, the gaps that I have identified for me to become a servant leader. What strategies do I need to put in place so that I can add the gaps in and that helps me to grow eventually to my desire to become a servant leader. So at the point of the training, we are able to assess the level where the participants are through the interaction, because it's also the training is very experiential. It's based on experience. We share our own experiences. We invite the participants to share their own experiences, because wherever they are sitting from, wherever they are coming from, they are leaders in their own capacity. They have had experiences of leadership. So we give the opportunity to share, for them to share their experiences, and that helps us to know at this level, this person is really very much oriented towards servant leadership, but maybe the person needs 1, 2, 3 to get more exposed and really to add on to strengthening one's ability of really becoming a servant leader. So at the end of the 6 days, the scholars develop a leadership plan. Some of the concepts they have learned through the training and so forth, how are they going to implement? And in the action plan, we are able to see how much they have understood of the content of the facilitation program. For us to understand the strength of servant leadership as a strength, we need to transition from understanding of the word servant to interpret it as a service. If you are a servant leader, then you know that you are providing service. And in fact, there is a strength in providing service. A leader who is providing service to whoever the group it is. For example, I am a director at the Center for Leadership and Management. Part of my role as a director is overseeing the responsibility of the Center for Leadership and Management, but also serving students, providing service to students, providing service to clients who come to the Center for Leadership and Management, and doing it in such a way that I am involved personally in doing it. So, to my understanding, that really helps us to unpack the word servant, to upgrade it to a greater meaning. One who is a servant actually is performing a great service. What is the role of servant leadership in our world today? Taking the current trajectory, but also our attitude towards servant leadership. I think a servant leader is one who understands the resources available are to be shared. Even if I am the leader, it's me to ensure that each one of the members have the required resource available to enable them perform their duty, but also for their own well-being. We do see changes in the students from the first day we begin facilitating, when we begin the training, to the second day, the third day, and so forth, up to the 6th day when we are almost concluding the training. The participants would have become really different people. They have acquired knowledge, they are able to share freely what they were not able to share, but also to participate actively in the training process, taking roles here, playing initiatives, taking initiative here, taking initiative there, organizing things for themselves. The level of freedom sort of increases. We see that in the practical, what is happening during the training. So we really see people loosening up to become free and embracing also the spirit of servant leadership. And also taking the commitment to become ambassadors. First of all, to get a personal transformation by themselves, within themselves, but also to be able to take it to the next level in the environments where they are working. So we see that eagerness really working in them. Before we carry out the training, there is a pre-assessment workshop, the pre-assessment evaluation, which is done by the participants. Then within the workshop evaluation of every day, day by day, evaluation of how the session has gone, how the following day could be a little bit different and more relevant for them. And then we have a post-workshop evaluation. Now the post-workshop evaluation is what helps us improve the next preparation. Like we would be now preparing for next year's presentation. So we will look at post-assessment, but also within the day-by-day evaluation, we look at that and see what are the participants remarking, what are they saying, and so forth. So we try to incorporate their observations, not only what the evaluations are saying, but we also look around in the trend, what is current, what is trending. That really should be incorporated into the different aspects. We handle different topics. One of the topics involved is emotional intelligence. And so in emotional intelligence, in this particular time of the year, what are some of the practical aspects which we can refer to, which can help us demonstrate emotional intelligence?